What's a moment from your life that was enough to make a grown man cry? I worked in Disneyland when one day two women came in with two little girls. One was in a wheelchair, and the other looked extremely down, and the two women were nurses and were asking for a refund on the girls' tickets. I asked why they wanted a refund, and they told me a story I'll never forget. The two girls were here on holiday with their parents, and just a few hours ago they were driving to their hotel when they all got into a horrible car accident. Their mother had her dome cut clean off right in front of them, and their father slammed his dome into the steering wheel so hard his dome practically exploded everywhere. And so, they were here trying to refund the tickets to get the girls' money to get them back home. My heart absolutely sunk, not only because of the story, but because of the look on the girls' faces. It was faces of pure pain and numbness. I refunded their tickets immediately and told them I'd be their private tour guide for the day, which they were not expecting. I walked them to the VIP viewing area for the parade, and on the way down, I pulled out every kid joke I could think of. I had been a tour guide for over a decade, and I knew how to make kids smile, but nothing worked. They just stared blankly the whole time. I left them for a second to go backstage and bawl my eyes out, and when I came back out, I brought them to get ice cream. I also took them on every ride, but they wouldn't smile, wouldn't laugh, wouldn't speak, and wouldn't even cry. The nurses were loving it and were trying to get them into it, but it just wasn't working. We finally reached the viewing area of the parade, and it was there that I honestly saw true magic. I had called the parade department to let them know what was going on and set up a private meet and greet after the parade. As the parade was coming around, I told the girls that I had called Mickey and told them that Mickey had asked to meet them after the parade. The little girl in the wheelchair smiled. "Really?" she asked. My heart skipped. "Yes, really. He told me to tell you to look out for him in the parade and to follow the float back to City Hall." The other girl smiled. "You mean right now?" she asked. It had worked. They were talking, not laughing, but talking. It was the first time I heard them speak. Every single parade performer came up to them and told them to look out for Mickey. When Mickey's float came up, Mickey turned and looked down at the girls and pointed towards Main Street. That was all it took. The girls were excited now. They had forgotten about everything. They were lost in a magical world. We followed that float all the way back to City Hall, singing Mickey Mania the whole way. Once at City Hall, I took the girls into the VIP lounge and showed them the book where all of the autographs were, and they were loving it. The woman who was Mickey that day got down off her float and without even taking her head off, walked up to me backstage and said, "Let's go." I walked in with Mickey behind me, and so I got to see the exact moment the girls met their new friend. They got shy, but Mickey was in control now. Those girls met the real Mickey Mouse that day. Mickey made them laugh, he made them smile, and took tens of photos with them. The girls looked truly happy in these photos. After over 2 hours of tomfoolery and silliness, Mickey finally hugged them and said goodbye, and I had two excited girls on my hands that couldn't stop smiling. They talked and talked and talked. We had a wonderful day after that, but what I remember most is when we walked by the rose garden, the older girl said, "Oh, mommy loves roses. And she stopped. I held out my hand and walked her to the gate, picked her up and put her on the other side and said, "Pick one." She looked happy as she picked out her favorite rose. She didn't say anything more, and she didn't need to. I said goodbye to the wonderful nurses and the wonderful girls, then walked backstage behind the train station.